Hello, it's Rebecca, and you're watching Syrian Sage for a mystery question tarot reading. What that means is that you, the viewer, are going to be focusing on your question, and without me knowing your question, I am going to draw cards intended to provide an answer for you with an educational and informational interpretation of the cards. This is one of my favorite kind of readings to do because, as you'll see, you can get surprisingly in-depth and accurate insights from the tarot's art, archetypes, and symbolism, even if the question is unspoken. So if this video has found you when it's found you, it was meant to find you at exactly this time, and it is intended to assist you in accomplishing your highest path and purpose. This reading is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. If you appreciate what I do, please let me know by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. At this time, I'm going to ask you to focus on your question, and I'm going to take a moment to align myself energetically for the reading. Okay, let's begin. Okay, there's your first card. Two of Swords. This would be in the position of your situation or your issue. And then there's your path forward and your guidance. That's the Eight of Swords. I'll explain what all these mean once I get a few of these laid down. And then the Five of Cups. Oof, that would be the challenge. So it looks like there's a challenging situation that you're dealing with right now. And really the issue is that you have a choice that you need to make about something. But look at this character here. She's not seeing with her eyes and she's not paying attention to the waters behind her. That represents your intuition and your subconscious, or maybe your feelings. She's in a seated position. She's not going anywhere. She's just weighing these two options. And it looks like she's being illuminated by the moon behind her. And again, the symbolism with the moon card can represent illusion. So it seems like maybe she's being subconsciously informed by her emotions, but she doesn't want to face them. So think about what that might mean for you. And let's go into the next one, the path forward and the guidance. This is the Eight of Swords, and this kind of represents being stuck, being stuck by like the snares of enemies. Some other person has decided that they're gonna get you all tied up here and put you in a labyrinth of different ideas that may or may not work out for you. That's what these swords can all represent here. But let's go deeper than that. The Eight of Swords can represent like a crisis and a conflict. And the best way to navigate through this is by following your intuition and your emotions. You don't need to see the swords around you. You can feel them and you can feel your way around it and out of it. So that's the advice. The advice is you have to use your feelings, not your big ideas, to get through it. What feels safe, what feels like the right thing to do, that's the choice you should be making. The challenge, though, is that there is going to be a loss. So, like, I don't know if this is a choice that you're making that you are afraid of this as a possible challenge. The challenge is, am I going to get through it without heartbreak and tears? But the challenge is, you're going to get through it regardless of whether there's tears. So think about that. What does the idea of tears represent to you? You still have good things standing. You still have positive emotions over here that, you're not looking at them when you're looking at what the loss is. But as we see this river moving on, life goes on. Think about how life goes on. Look at all the emotion that we have here. We've got water in these places that are not all watery suits. So think about that. And the symbolism of the tarot, the elements in the picture are giving us a whole lot of additional information symbolically. This woman is blindfolded 2 times here. But, in one, I get the sense that she was free to put that blindfold on herself and to be able to take it off. And in this one, she's not. So maybe the guidance here is if we're looking at this card as guidance to deal with this kind of a challenge, then the guidance might be to just say, like, don't give yourself the opportunity to look at all the swords here. Use your feelings again to deal with the challenge of dealing with feelings. Deal with the feelings. That's kind of heavy. So let's look at the unseen energy. I hope that you're okay, whatever is going on with you. Okay, this one flipped out. Okay, the unseen energy is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, I'm kind of laughing because it's ironic that that would be the unseen energy, the energy of like an emotional celebration or coming together with friends. And what we see there again with more cups, but we see a collaboration of that energy. In the Three of Cups, it's like abundance, it's fulfillment, it's like a happy kind of a thing going on. Maybe the unseen energy relates to, well, how are you going to navigate this challenging situation where you have to choose when this is the unseen energy? Is this like going to affect your friends? Is your choice going to be affecting your friends? This is a healing energy also. The healing of being in your community and or being with your friends or family or whoever you enjoy being around. An additional meaning, and this comes from like the older tarot books, is that it's an unexpected advancement for a military man. So if your question relates to that, it may be like maybe a promotion that somebody wasn't thinking that they were going to get. Now, what's the overall outcome, or what's more or less the basic answer to your question? The sun. That's a very positive card. The sun is innocence. Everything is in perfect order. The sun is shining once again. The sun is shining on this perfectly innocent child. And you have sunflowers here as well. The sun, it's contentment, it's material happiness, and it's simplicity. This is like where it can represent, like if you were just going to look at basic keywords of this particular card, the sun represents gain or glory or riches. If you put it next to all bunch of like really negative or like so-called evil cards, like if you have a whole bunch of swords in there, and let's look here. We don't have the most positive swords in here. We don't have totally positive cards here in the background. But if the sun is the outcome, maybe it just means something simple like arrogance or vanity. But we don't have to take it to that conclusion again because this is just me doing a card interpretation on a question don't even know what the question is. It can also represent a fortunate marriage, like this is material happiness. It can be a display, though. It can be like a display or aggrandizement of the ego. You could interpret it that way just based on the fact that we have, we're starting off, these other cards are pretty difficult. So they call this reading the dignity of the cards. The dignity of the cards is kind of telling you, like, well, how positive can this card possibly be if you've got challenging cards around it? If you've got some difficulties over here, how positive can that one really be? So, but I wouldn't interpret it quite like that just because it's overall, look, the unseen energy here this is a very, very positive card. So again, I'm going to leave that on the educational, informational side because you are the one, the viewer, you know what your question is, and you know the answer to this question better than I do at this point. let's look at what the overall theme of the issue is in the question. We have the Eight of Cups and the walking away or moving to higher ground, leaving stagnant emotions behind and walking away. The overall theme maybe has to do with making a decision that is about this, walking away. And again, I want you to notice there is a moon here, but we have an eclipse happening here. So symbolism with the moon, the sun, and then the eclipse. So take note of that if that might mean anything relating to your question. But let's go a little deeper on the Eight of Cups. And what is the Eight of Cups telling us about? This is kind of like it is referred to as the quote, Lord of abandoned success. That's like saying, well, things might be okay, but you're still walking away. It shows the decline of something. Something which you thought was very important before is really not as important as walking away from it is now. That's one way that I would interpret that. It used to be important and now you need to walk away. If this were reversed, it would represent happiness and feasting, right? And satisfaction. This is dissatisfaction. Upright, this card means dissatisfaction. You're not going to take it anymore. You're just like, nope, it's time for me to walk away. But this isn't some big showy affair. Like, this isn't, rage quitting the job or something. It's walking away. Also, notice that he's carrying a wand, he has a staff. So, the wand of inspiration. And think of how that relates to fire. A character who's holding a wand is being led by maybe a divine inspiration. So think about that. Maybe there is something that is inspiring this person. There's higher ground and there's something off in the distance that this dissatisfaction is going to end up leading to. Can't quite see it yet, but you will. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up here. And I want to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can go to SyrianSage.com for a private one-on-one call, or you can book a reading on video through my Ko-fi shop. If you're interested in learning more about the tarot, please visit my playlist, Keys to the Tarot. I created this virtual tarot deck and reference guide for everyone, and you can use this for your own reading just by hitting Shuffle Playlist. I offer a giveaway private reading every month, which you can sign up for through my website. I also have other freebies like downloadable zines. I also read the Akashic Records as a certified soul realignment practitioner. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you can find my other YouTube videos on that topic or visit my website. You can support my work directly by donating to me through Ko-fi and by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And if you've made it all the way to the end of my video, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment with your thoughts, and I will see you again soon.